Good morning, planet Earth. Thank you very much for tuning in today to the QC Cube Space Station. My name is Eric Staubus, and I am the QC Cube Space Coach. This is video number 1 in the series of 7, which I have composed and assembled for the purpose of introducing you to the intelligent energy of space. Let me start by giving a little background to the discovery. I am not a physicist, I am a spiritualist, but I have studied enough science to know that we are not being taught the truth. I know for a fact that solid matter is not really solid. It's full of particles in constant motion. And empty space is not really empty. It's full of energy. And the reason this is important for our consideration is that these are two of the primary assumptions of our perceptive mechanism that we learn in infancy and that we carry with us all of our life. And they're not correct. If you assumed we were all being taught a lie, you'd actually be telling the truth. In this brief video, I'm going to introduce you to a truth about the space that we are not taught in school, and which none of us realize, but which is crucial to our continued survival on this planet. What I discovered in 1979, 43 years ago, is that the source of the energy that moves particles through space is space itself. Around the same time, there was a fairly well-known physicist by the name of Hal Puthoff. He's still alive, I'm thankful for that, who made a similar discovery and had his work published in Physical Review D, which is the voice of the American Physical Society. That article of his was published in 1985. You can see a copy of it if you go to my other website, scienceofspace.com. I'm mentioning that just to say that there is actually some quantum mathematical verification of the primary assumption of this new philosophy of life that I am offering for your consideration. I took a step further than the physicist with the realization that there is only one space in this universe. Think about that for a second. The space that's out there that contains the galaxies in this expanding universe. The Hubble telescope looks out billions of light years into the universe, and as far away as it looks, the space that's out there where the telescope is and where the galaxies are is the same as the space that contains the solar system. It's the same as the space between the Earth and the Moon, which is the same as the space in this room between me and the camera, and between me and you, wherever you are. Because there's only one space in the universe. The space that's out there is the same as the space that's in here. So the space that contains the particles inside of atomic structure is the same space that contains the planets as they rotate about the sun. Which means, basically, since the source of the energy that moves particles through space is space itself, and there's only one space in the universe, that means there's only one source of all energy, which means it has created everything. And I just want to let you know that everything includes intelligence. So quite a few years after I discovered the energy of space, I discovered that formula right there. E equals QC cubed. E is the energy, Q represents intelligence in this case, and C is the velocity of light. So what I'm going to do today, right now, is I'm going to derive this formula using some simple math and science principles to derive the formula. The biggest problem that confronts us today in this relational universe that is constantly giving back to us in accordance with what we believe is the fact that we do not know the truth because we are not being taught the truth. We learn the standard model of science in school, which claims that this is a finite universe that began with a big explosion about 8 billion years ago. Well, that is just not true. And I'm going to provide an alternative to that fabrication, that Big Bang theory, in this series of 7 videos, beginning with the derivation of that formula right there. So let's get started here. This is not a complicated process. You see that letter right there? That's the Greek letter nu. And in physics, it represents the frequency of electromagnetic radiation, okay? When you cube that frequency, you get basically the energy density of the background radiant energy of space. So nu cubed represents the energy density of the background radiant energy of the one space that fills the universe. In step number 2, I want you to realize that energy density is energy per unit of volume, or E over V. In step 3, we look at the wonderful Einstein-Planck equation, which tells us that c, the velocity of light, is equal to lambda times nu. Lambda in electromagnetic radiation represents the wavelength. We're going to remove lambda from the equation of light, but there's a good reason for that. Moving right along, we're going to rearrange this equation by dividing both sides by lambda, and that gives us nu, the frequency, is equal to c divided by lambda, the wavelength. We're going to call this the frequency-dependent equation of light. Now, in step 5, we're going to introduce the particle-wave duality of light. For every wave, there's a particle, and for every particle, there's a wave. And sometimes light acts like a wave, and sometimes it acts like a particle. Fortunately for us in this derivation, we can consider the energy density, or rather the volume of the particle's energy by cubing lambda. See, I drew the little cube there, and that represents, lambda cubed represents the volume of the particle's energy that's associated with the wave. In step 6, I would like to remind us that energy per unit of volume is equal to energy per unit of volume. In this case, E over V is equal to E over lambda cubed. Now in step 7, we're going to take that frequency-dependent equation of light and cube it. So we have nu cubed is equal to c cubed divided by lambda cubed. In step 8, we're going to multiply both sides of that equation by q. We're adding q to the equation. We're adding q, which is in this case represents intelligence. We're adding that to the universe, okay? So q nu cubed is equal to q c cubed over lambda cubed. And in step 9, we make the magic happen. E over lambda cubed, energy per unit of volume, is equal to energy density. In this case, we've multiplied it by q. So we have E over lambda cubed is equal to q nu cubed, which is equal to q c cubed over lambda cubed. Now we're going to take this middle term out of here. We have E over lambda cubed is equal to q c cubed over lambda cubed. And we just cancel lambda cubed from both sides of the equation, and we end up with E equals q c cubed. The energy of the universe is equal to intelligence times the cube of the velocity of light. That's the spiritual formula that adds intelligence to the universe. I want to thank you very much for tuning into this video, and it is my sincerest hope that you will watch video number 2 on my new website, qccube.com. Thank you very much, and have a beautiful day.